Hello, my little pretties. It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and welcome back to episode 14 of Shadow Tales. Now, today I'm going to be doing a retelling of a story called The Little Mermaid by Christian Andersen. Far out into the ocean, was where the water is blue and prettiest as cornflower, and it was very crystal clear. It is very, very deep, so deep that no cable both could foghorn or many church sleepless piled up to another in the beneath of the dwelling of the ocean below. The Sea King and his subjects, who they must not imagine there was something at the bottom of the sea, but bare yellow sand. Indeed, there were the most singular flowers and plants grow there. And of course, the Sea King had been a widower for many years, and his aged mother kept the house for him. She was a very wise woman, and exceedingly proud of her high birth. On that she wore 12 oysters on her tail, while the others of the high rank were only allowed to wear 6. As she, however, deserved a very great praise. There were 6 children of little sea princesses. They were 6 beautiful children, but the youngest one was the prettiest of them all. Her skin was clear and delicate as rose leaf, and her eyes were as blue as the deep sea. But like all the others, she had no feet, and her body ended up in a fish's tail. All day long they played in the great halls of the castle, or amongst the living flowers that grew out the walls. A large amber windows were opened, and the fish swam as they swallows into the houses. We opened the windows, excepting for the fish that swam up to the princesses, ate out of their hands, and allowed themselves to be stroked. Outside the castle there was a beautiful garden, which grew bright red with dark blue flowers, blossoms like flames on fire. But of course, there was something about the youngest little mermaid. She was a strange child, quiet and thoughtful, and while her sisters will be delighted with wonderful things that they have tamed the wrecks of the vessels, she always cared for nothing but pretty red flowers, like the sun, who accept a beautiful marble statue. Her grandmother called the little birds fishes, or she would never have understood her. She had been the birds. "When you have reached your 15th year," said her grandmother, "you will have permission to rise up out of the sea and sit on the rocks at moonlight, while the great ships are sailing by. Then you'll get to both see the forests and towns." In the following year, one of the sisters would be 15, which was a year younger than the other. The youngest would have had to wait 5 years before it came her turn to rise up from the bottom of the ocean. You see the earth as we do. However, we promised to tell each other what she saw on her first visit. But the little mermaid really wanted to see what was up above the world. As soon as the youngest was 16, or at least 15, she was allowed to rise to the surface. When she came back, she had hundreds of things to talk about. The most beautiful thing she said was to lie in the moonlight on a sandbank in the quiet sea, near the coast of a large town nearby. Another year, another sister had the chance, then the third and the fourth one. When the 5th sister's birthday occurred in the winter, it came her turn, and when she looked up, she saw that there was a shipwreck. The shipwreck was happening, and there was someone who was drowning in the water. The little mermaid looked over to see that it was a beautiful prince. She grabbed the prince and she helped him to safety above shore. When she got to the shore with the prince, he looked up to see her, although he couldn't really remember exactly what she looked like, but she was a mermaid, made from what he saw. One morning a storm had seized, but not a ship in the single fragment can be seen. The sun rose up red, glowing from the water, and its beams brought down a hue of health to the prince. But of course, his eyes remained closed for a while. But that was because he was in bed. But one day the little mermaid wanted to go up and explore the place, but her father said she couldn't. If human beings are not drowned, asked the little mermaid, can they live forever? Do they never die as we do here in the sea? Yes, the old lady said, they must also die, and as their term of life is shorter than ours, sometimes we live 300 years, but we cease to exist here only to become a foam on the surface of the water, and we not even have a grave down here. But of course the little mermaid really wanted to go up to see the prince, but of course the king would not. This is when she decided to go see a sea witch. The sea witch was delighted to see her. The princess says, "Oh, I want to go up to see what the world is like up there, but I would also really like to see if I could see him." Of course, the sea witch said, "If you want to see the prince for yourself on the land, you must exchange me and something in return," she said. "What is it?" asked the little mermaid. "You would need to give me your voice," said the sea witch. The little mermaid was hesitant, but she nodded and gave the sea witch her voice. When she couldn't talk and she met with the prince was confused as to why she couldn't talk. He didn't recognize her, but he noticed that the mermaid was the one who saved him. Things were going so well until the sea witch disguised herself as another princess and decided to marry the prince. Of course, the little mermaid didn't seem to be noticing that she was being tricked by the sea witch. When the sea witch really wanted to try to marry the prince, it wasn't long until the little girl turned it back into a mermaid. The secret was revealed. The prince was surprised. The one who saved him from the shipwreck was the mermaid, and the other girl was the sea witch. The sea witch tried to attack the ship, but only for the prince, along with the mermaid and even her father, have destroyed the sea witch, and she was never seen again. Of course she had died, the evil sea witch. The mermaid, along with the prince, got married as her father allowed her to be married to the prince. Since they had gotten married, the mermaid was turned into a human, and when she was a human, she could marry the prince, and they all lived happily ever after. And that, my little pretties, was The Little Mermaid, a retelling story of my version by Hans Christian Andersen. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, hit the comments section, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications, because I would like to hear what your thoughts are on the comments below. I am the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.